work hard so you do not have to introduce yourself. That's the way I look at it. I want to do as many different things and be out of the box original as I can to do different products. The New York State Fair, they do, just for their maple booth at the State Fair, I think is, I want to say like $180,000 for the 10-day event is what they bring in for maple products. They do quite a bit of stuff through there, but Ms. Thomas asked me if I'd be interested in selling our peanut butter there. They get a commission off from it, but the amount of people that go through something like that, they buy it, it has your sticker on there. If they like it, they'll call you, send you an email or whatever, and get a hold of you. I actually had a guy this morning send me a message. He wants to do their maple sugar blocks. You can Google it, you can look it up. In the 1800s, Vermont used to make them to keep for their sugar throughout the year, and you use it on like a shaver to get the sugar, so the sugar will keep. I don't understand why they didn't do just regular granulated sugar. I'm not sure. Like I say, this is, the guy's been messaging me all morning about it, and the only way I can see how to do it is with a machine like this and then crystal coating the sugar. But like I say, you build a reputation, and I mean, I have people call me about my popcorn because when you do the popcorn, it'll burn, and he's pulling his hair out, couldn't figure out how to do it. He called the state office, and the state office gave him my number. So, but I work very hard at building a reputation just for my sugar business. It's my brand, it's me, I sell myself when I sell my products. If I'm not happy with the product, I'm not going to bring it in here and have you guys taste it. That's asinine. I mean, dumb. Sorry.
Don't you think that's really important, though, that you put your best foot forward when you're out in the community and doing things?
Oh, absolutely. Mm-hmm. No, 100%. I mean, unfortunately, I work a lot. I like to work. I like to do different things. I like experiment different things. I don't mind going and traveling and seeing people, seeing different sugar houses, getting different ideas. It's all about seeing different things. I mean, it's about having an open-minded. You're never going to know everything. If you think you know everything, you're not going to learn anything. So the candies, they're still warm. I'm going to pop them out anyways. So usually the candies, you guys have made them, don't pop them out until they're cooled off. Right? So you pop them out when they're not cool, they'll explode in your hand and you make a mess, right? So then what do you do with them?
What do we do with the ones that make a mess or whatever? They go in the reject pile.
So what do you do with the reject pile?
You eat it.
What do we do with our rejects?
Make it into sugar.
That's not what we're going to do this year. We're going to try dissolving it this year. So we're going to put it back in hot water and see if we then can put it back with the sap in the evaporator and bring it back to syrup.
So if you're putting it in the evaporator to bring it back to syrup, you just throw them in. You shouldn't have to dissolve them.
Oh, we just throw them right in?
Just throw them back in.
Ooh.
Anytime you do a pure maple product like that, you're never going to ruin it. Never. If it doesn't come out the way you want it, put it back in the pot, add a little bit of water to it, you got maple syrup back. I wouldn't try taking it and putting it back to a confection because you changed the sugar crystals in there and sometimes it doesn't come out the way that you want it to come out. You can prove me wrong with it. I hope you do. I usually don't waste time on that. It's like we're talking about coming up on the elevator. I hate wasting time, like leak checking my book. everything's gonna be a mess. I'll make enough sugar to get me through hopefully half the year. So, you guys can come up and grab a piece of this if you'd like. But don't eat it yet. Take it back to your seat. I want to talk about it.
All you gotta do is put a new battery in and reconnect it again. Pretty fancy.
They still feel really hot.
Have to start all the way from the beginning.
Yeah.
This is like the marshmallow test. How long can you hold it without eating?
Alright, so like I said, I've never made the syrup, flavored syrup into a candy. Shouldn't say that. I did the cinnamon vanilla. I hated it. I thought this would be something to play with. You sure? Alright. So, you have inverted sugars with different temperatures as it goes into the machine. It's not consistent. That's perfectly normal. So when somebody gives you a piece of candy, or you give a customer a piece of candy and they're like, why is that white spot on there? Have the answer for them. Know the answer to it. You know, why is your maple cream separating? Well, that's a normal process with it. You stir it, it goes back. So how many have had candy you put in your mouth and you have to chew it up? Do you like chewing up candy like that?
Yes.
Yes? I don't. Alright, everybody put it in your mouth, put it on your tongue, do not chew it. The whole thing.
Good idea, see how
Tell me
long
when
this
it's time to
can
swallow.
last.
Yeah, right? In about 2 hours.
Okay, is the candy starting to melt on your tongue? No? It should. Well, you have to close your mouth. Alright, chew it up a little bit. So usually, like I said, this is experimental for me also. I like a candy when you put it in your mouth, you put it in your tongue, it dissolves in your mouth. I don't like having to chew the candy. So what can we do with this to help with it? Leave more moisture in the syrup when we boil it. Drop the temperature down. We did it 238. Drop it down 2 degrees. Then when you put it in your mouth, it actually dissolves. You don't have to sit there and gnaw on it like a dog on a bone. Crystal coating. Have you guys gotten into that?
We haven't.
Is that something to talk about?
Sure.
So crystal coating on candies gives you a shelf life. These here were made, I'm gonna say probably 4 weeks ago. And you can see they're starting to get a little bit, and pass them around if you want. They're starting to get a little bit discoloration. Oxygen's starting to get to them. A little bit of moisture. They've been in the fridge, so beverages been getting to them. So when you crystallize these, what you do is you take a batch of syrup and you bring it up to, I believe it's between 71 to 74 bricks. So what's syrup normally at for bricks? Sugar content.
I don't know if they know that. My group, I don't think knows that.
No? How do you guys pull your syrup off your arch, off your pan, your finished pan?
They don't know that either. boiling.
The boiling
pull
crew
it
does
out.
that.
Oh.
Yeah, we don't, we just take it out.
So that's one downfall.
It's not like
Each
2%.
Department doing your own thing.
Okay.
They wouldn't know really that part.
So when syrup comes off finished, it should be at 66.5 bricks. New York State, you can not legally sell syrup if it's below 66.5 or above 68 bricks. You have that window. If you sell it out of that, agri markets can come, take it off the shelf, give it back to you and say, don't do it anymore. That's it. No monetary fine, whatever. That's one thing with agri markets too, is everybody says you gotta have a license to do this, you need to have to do this, you need to do this. All agri markets can do is come in and say that product's not shelf safe, whatever, take it off the shelf, do not put it back on until it meets requirements. There's no fine that they will give you for having something like that. They also came out with a thing, like technically it used to be I would have to have a 20C license to make these candies, because it's not a pure maple syrup product. The cotton candy, the popcorn, all that stuff, you would have to have a 20C license to do it. Here at the school, not a big deal. Your own sugar house, you might want to pay attention. But 20C license, get it approved, it's not a big deal, it's just a little pricey. It's like $500 a year to have it. Smaller producer, you got to push a lot of product to cover $500 a year. $500 is a lot of profit on products. Crystal Coat, bring it up. Like I say, between 71, 73 bricks. Let it sit in there 4 to 6 hours, take it out, put it on dryer racks, and just rotate them every hour. It'll last like a year on a shelf. But you are going to have to bite into that candy when you chew it. I'd rather have the candy, make a fresh batch, put it on the shelf, have the customer buy it. They put it in the mouth, they love it. I don't want a customer coming back and saying your candy's so hard it broke my filling, it broke my cat. So how are you guys going to sell your candies when you have your open house, but not? Quarter pound individuals, Ziploc bags, dirty socks?
The design group is coming up with like a pillow pack type design.
Mm-hmm.
And they're gonna be 2 packs or 4 packs. So 2 candies or 4 candies in each pack.
Okay. So that's good. Quarter pound, $5. Okay. You got $5 I can borrow? Serious? Not a dollar. You got a dollar?
I have $1 at home.
You let me borrow it though, right?
No.
After all the candy and popcorn he's laying down, you, jeez, you're hurt.
That's weird.
So would you rather give me $5 or would you rather give me $1? Dollar, absolutely. So when you're trying to sell your stuff, you want to give me $5 for that, or you want to give me $1 for 4 pieces? Exactly. So at the fair, we'll sell maybe 20, 25 of these the whole week. But we'll usually sell about 80 pounds of sugar shapes at the 10-day New Era Fair. Because we sell it as dollar pieces, $2, just Ziploc bags. Somebody will always give you $1 before they'll give you $5, $10, $20. You have the people come in and like that aged vanilla bourbon, you know, $190 a gallon is what we get for it. It's better than getting $45 a gallon for the syrup in the sugar house. You know, we just did a batch last night of pumpkin spice syrup.
I was talking about that this morning.
So,
I saw that on Facebook.
How many of you guys would want to try that? Okay, so why wouldn't you guys want to try that?
It costs too much.
It costs too much.
It
You didn't
costs.
say anything about cost.
No, it's a good point though. If that's a concern, and that's what you got, then that's what you have to look at. I'm asking you for my information. You know, I made pumpkin spice. Listen, Dunkin', like I said, Dunkin' Donuts does it all the time. Why can't I do it? So why wouldn't you want to try a pumpkin spice maple syrup? You don't like pumpkin? So what's your most favorite thing to eat? And don't say bubblegum.
Pizza.
Pizza? Ugh. Chicken wings? Well, chicken wings, you always do a maple barbecue sauce. Maple barbecue sauce?
It's not bad.
Easy way to do a maple barbecue sauce is, what's your favorite barbecue sauce?
I don't eat barbecue sauce.
You don't eat barbecue sauce?
No.
No. How about mustard?
No.
Ketchup?
Only on hot dogs and fries and that's it.
So have you ever had a maple ketchup?
No.
So why don't you try to make one?
I'm not in the candy confession.
How about if I told you it was very, very simple and very easily, that you could do it within, I'm gonna say 3 minutes, and you get home with it. You can make a maple ketchup or maple mustard. Ketchup.
I'm gonna interrupt for
just-
like soft pretzels. How do I make that?
Miss Moore, can I interrupt for just 1 second? I'm sorry. You're being live streamed, so I'm just letting you know before lunch starts. No, it's wonderful. Don't let that bother you. But one of the things the newsroom wanted to do, just so you know, is we're actually right now sending this footage into the cafeteria. So all of the 6th, 7th, and 8th graders will be able to see what we're doing in Untapped. And it's a great way to get the word out. Listen, that means, what are we going to do? We're going to be doing our best because we want to showcase our best. I mean, you're your best every day. But don't freak out. Don't get
Don't
nervous.
worry,
It's
I'll be
marketing. I'm
He's
telling
only
you,
the one
it's
on the
marketing. And they're seeing this. We're seeing this downstairs right now. I've watched, and it looks awesome. Like, your presentation is great. Keep it up. But this is good, guys. It's really fantastic, and we're getting the word out there. Think about it. Everybody in the school now will see what we're doing.
And don't worry, basically none of you guys are on camera except like Ethel and
Yeah.
Nicole.
No pressure. No
Do
pressure.
your hair, everybody.
Okay, I just wanted to let you know that. Now, enjoy. Have fun.
Okay, so back to soft pretzels.
Yes. No, maple mustard for soft pretzels.
So do you want a sweet maple mustard, or will you want a hot maple mustard?
Ooh, either one.
Hot maple mustard sounds good.
Yeah.
So we have both of those at our sugar house. We have a sweet pepper jelly at the sugar house.
For the deep fried cheese curds.
Oh, we're over like the cream cheese and maple jelly over and you, this is just sounding better.
So remember what I first told you guys when I walked in? What do you use syrup for?
Everything.
Sugar.
It's not for pancakes. Get that out of your mind. It's not for pancakes.
Waffles for kids.
What's good for what?
How about your eggs? Put them on your eggs.
Never had maple bacon. So I put maple syrup in my bacon. It's amazing. Oh, ice cream at Stewart's. It's blueberry pancake, and it tastes like blueberry and maple.
They don't have to buy a single thing. All they have to do is come up and try our products. Alright, so who else doesn't like maple products? Same thing. Come up. Anything that's in our sugar house that you want to sample, you are more than welcome to sample. I would rather have you do it on a day that I'm boiling sap. Because syrup off from an evaporator tastes different than syrup that's in a bottle. It sounds silly, but it's different. Anything that's a fresh product is always going to be better. Who wants to know how to make maple barbecue sauce? At home, very reasonable, very easy, very quick. What's your favorite barbecue sauce? Who makes it? Sweet Baby Ray's, Jack Daniels, Kraft?
So good.
Jack Daniels. So you buy just the original Jack Daniels barbecue sauce. This is the easiest, cheapest way to get away with it. And you buy a squeeze bottle. You put a quarter of that bottle with syrup, you put the rest with the barbecue sauce, and you mix it up. And you have your maple barbecue sauce. You don't need a license to do it. You don't have to entertain anybody to do it. and you just made your own maple barbecue sauce for your family. Same thing with the mustards, the jellies. You gotta be careful of the jellies. Has anybody ever made maple jelly?
That
Made
sounds
Jake
good.
regular jelly.
Oh my gosh, I know you've broken through the wall.
So the maple peanut butter with the maple jelly, then I got you one, right?
You're gonna make me hungry.
Maple French toast.
That's my job, is to make you hungry. Has anybody ever been to my booth at the fair besides Maddie?
Oh, I was just about to read.
And you?
Are you the one with the fried dough?
We don't do fried dough,
Should.
per se. Okay, why should I do fried dough?
It's good.
People like fried dough. Okay, so how many other booths at our fair has fried dough? Pretty close.
8.
Used to be 3, I think it's down to 2 now.
It is down to 2.
And where are the lines at those booths?
Like gates.
Down around the corner, almost all the time, unless it's pouring rain, right?
Yeah.
Even the days that attendance is at drop dead. Last year, I convinced somebody to let me buy a mini donut machine. Are they good, Maddie? Did you have any?
Yes.
Yes. Are they good? Okay. So those mini donuts are about maybe bigger, a little bit bigger than 50-cent piece.
Are they like donut holes?
They're like the Hostess size, you know you guys can get the little pack of the Hostess mini donuts, that's what size they come out.
Okay, so I bought the donut machine to sell maple products. I did not buy the machine to make donuts. We sold, no joke, over 10,000 of those at our fair for the 10 days that our fair was there. So technically I do a fried dough, but why do I want to do a fried dough when you have these other people that are already doing it? They have a successful business doing it.
Do a maple one.
We do the maple cream on top of our mini donuts. And then we have our own soft serve ice cream machine. So we do nothing but maple ice cream in there. We've experimented with a black raspberry maple twist, a orange-cool maple twist.
That sounds
So I'm serving it to you.
And it's soft.
And is it good?
Yeah.
Is it creamy? Would you go back?
I always go back.
Exactly. If somebody tells me that there's a reason they don't come back to my booth or they don't come back to my business, I want them to tell me. I'm brutally honest. If you ask me something, I'm going to tell you. It's probably one of my biggest downfalls. But I want other people to be honest with me. You know, why don't you like the maple candies? Why don't you like the flavored syrups? Great, that's what I want to know. That's what builds a business. That's where you get your clientele. The maple donuts. We take our ice cream, we'll put 4 donuts on the bottom, we'll put the ice cream in there, we'll put more donuts, we'll put the maple cream, and we'll put our flavored apple pie syrup on top, our aged vanilla bourbon syrup, our cinnamon vanilla. We put that on top as drizzle with whipped cream. You're getting hungrier. This is what you need to do when you try to sell products, when you try to explain to people, this is maple syrup. No, this isn't maple syrup. This is a new way to use a sugar, to use a natural sugar, to sell your product, to move on. There's a chocolate manufacturer in New York City that uses coconut sugar, I believe, to make his chocolate. This spring, he was interested in using nothing but maple granulated sugar. How much do you think he wanted a month of maple granulated sugar, seeing how I have your attention?
A lot.
100 pounds? I'm gonna make 100 pounds today. That's probably gonna put me through half my year. He wanted 1,500 pounds a month of nothing but maple granulated
We're
sugar.
in the wrong business this morning.
Oh, right?
We didn't think this through.
Hey, no, I wasn't mistaken.
Are you looking to hire employees, Scott?
I did not get that contract. But they're like, you serious? You're interested in that? Absolutely. Why wouldn't I be? That's 1,500 pounds of maple granulated sugar a month. And he agreed at $8.25 a pound for maple granulated sugar. The opportunities are there for people willing to do it. Yesterday, I talked to a guy in Ohio that is willing to pay 30 cents a pound more than what another bulk cider. I gotta tell Jason about that too. Remind me, I'll send it to you. He's willing to pay 30 cents a pound more on bulk syrup than what a couple of the bulk syrup buyers are locally. I mean, I know you don't think 30 cents sounds like a lot, but a drum of syrup weighs, say, roughly 444 pounds. Easy way to remember it, 3 fours. So 30 cents on 444 pounds, what's that come out to? I think it comes out to like
Three times.
I think it's like 200 something, 230. It's like an extra $200 a barrel or something. 238 maybe? I can't remember. I figured it up last night. But it's like just for
$146.52.
so
That's good. That's good.
it doesn't, I mean, it doesn't sound like a lot.
Please pardon the interruption. Any student who was assigned a lunch detention for today, please be sure during your lunch and SSR period that you report to the main office. Again, any student who was assigned a lunch detention for today, you will report to the main office for that lunch detention. Thank you.
It's a great
And
lunch.
just to let everybody know, when I went through school here, Miss Ivy can probably account for this, that would be
He was a terrible trouble child.
that would be me for lunch, okay? I'm just saying it's
No, that's
it's all depends on how much you want to get into something. I'm not talking about just sugar. It's anything. It's all depends on how far you want to get into it. Can't remember.
ask questions.
Sure.
Do you guys have questions you wanted to ask Mr. St. Mary? My group.
He's given them a sugar cone now.
How much how much maple products do you make a year?
Like, how much syrup do I produce
Yeah.
a year?
Sap or syrupy stuff.
Last year we were somewhere around a little over 60,000 gallons of sap. Year before that we were around 80,000 gallons of sap. Last year it was somewhere around 1,400 gallons of syrup. I can't remember the year before. We run about 50-to-1 ratio. Some people run a little bit better than that, but we run that. And then a majority of ours, like say we ship 20 barrels of syrup, we'll want to keep 2 barrels back, plus we package stuff in 2.5 gallon containers and gallon containers to do our confections through the year. Can I answer your question?
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't make enough syrup, there's always people willing to sell you syrup. And if you're buying a barrel of syrup, you can double your money on that barrel of syrup just by repackaging it and putting it in bottles. Not turn it into a confection. Maple cream, we get $12 a pound. So you can get 10 pounds of a gallon. Usually it's about 8.5, but you're going to get $120 for that gallon of syrup versus $40-45 in a jug. So
What's the best way to market to your target audience?
I was hoping you guys would help me out with that. My biggest thing is word of mouth. That's what it's probably not the best method, I'm gonna tell you that right now, but for where we're at right now, I'm happy with that. I put one sign up for our Maple Weekend, that was the end of our driveway, we live on a dead end road. I could have advertised in the papers, on the radio and everything, but we had enough people that we could handle it with the 4 people we had working in the sugar house. We don't have a big group doing this. Primarily, this is my show. Like, if I ask for help, it's because I need help. But I set everything up so I don't have to have a lot of people behind me. It's nice to have the help, but You still hungry?
No, wasn't one of the, that Maple Weekend, wasn't that at the farmer's market too?
At the farmer's
Like
market?
their poster.
Yeah, they have posters all over. That's set up through the state association, and the state, you pay so much, and then the state bumps in through the state funding to help with it. $16 feet long wood evaporator. And he pretty much said, your job is get the syrup for it, get the sap for it. What? You learn very quickly when it's your money, when it's your time, when it's your investment. I wasn't making a lot of syrup when we first began, but I wanted more money to roll back into the business to invest. So I started doing confections. Your confections, you double, triple, quadruple your money on a gallon of syrup. That is the biggest thing with confections. That was what my biggest thing was when I started. Now it's making a different product than somebody else's. I mean, I made $2 on a tub of peanut butter. Did you try the maple peanut butter?
Yeah, I did it.
You know, $2 isn't a lot, but when you're pushing, 40, 50 pounds in a month's time, it adds up. But it's a different product. I have 3 different places right now that want to wholesale that from me. That's awesome. It's a process to get there. It's going to cost. It's an investment to get back into that. I had to convince my wife to let me buy the donut machine. I had to convince my wife to let me buy the peanut butter machine. The peanut butter machine, she's like, no, you're not doing it. So I kind of found somebody that had a peanut butter machine, and he kind of let me borrow it for a night. And I made a bunch of peanut butter, and we sold all that peanut butter our first Maple Weekend. So actually, it was that Saturday, the first night of our Maple Weekend, I said, so can I buy a peanut butter machine now? And she had already found one online. And we had it there, it actually got there the Friday after. You have a question?
How many taps do you have in total?
Right now, about 6,000. I buy 6,000 and there's a handful left over, but usually not too many.
Do you use like a piping or like a tubing system, or do you do it by buckets?
No, everything's on pipe. Everything's set up so my cost is as low as I can get it. We have 4 dump stations. 1 dump station is 4,000 taps, and then the other 3 dump stations are like 350, I think 1,400 and like 600, somewhere around there. And that's,
We may need your expertise. The village board said that we were allowed to tap the rec park trees next year.
really?
Yeah, for our project, so that's a big deal. I don't know how much we'll be able to do just with our small operation. But it might be something that will help us to have more product and create more, you know what I mean? So we'll see.
No, absolutely.
So we're gonna need your expertise for that.
I actually have, I don't know what Jason has, I actually have a pipeline book that Cornell University put out. I'd be more happy to give you guys one of those. It's kind of broken up here and there. Like, you almost have to have a background to understand the book, but it has all the basics and understanding of it. But we had 2,000 buckets to hang, but the last time I hung the buckets, And that's where we live. It's on a dead end road, and somebody went through at night and stole all the buckets on the roadside of the trees. So we don't hang any more buckets. We'll put a couple up at the sugar house. That's about it.
How many candies do you make in a month?
In a month, all depends on the time of year. I actually had to do another batch of candy for us because of Maple Weekend. We went through maybe 35, 36 pounds for the 2 weekends, which I was surprised of. I really was. The fair we go through a lot, and then the holidays we go through. But like these are, like again, these are holiday molds. So, you know, Easter we have little rabbits, we have little chicks, we have big bunnies. You know, they're like half a pound of sugar, but you know, the biggest is trying to get your customers to buy a natural candy for the little monster to gnaw on. But it's, you know, we try to go by the time of the year.
How much stuff have you collected this season?
This season, but you make me figure it out. We keep records of everything. Let me add up real quick. Roughly what? That ain't right. Almost 46,000, probably over 46,000 gallons. I don't know how Jay's running. We're a little bit ahead of season. We're like maybe 4 barrels ahead of where we normally will. I count my barrels, I'm sorry. We bottle what we need to get us through the year. We know roughly what we need, and then the rest we ship. And we get a nice little paycheck, and then the rest of it is broke up through the year. Good, bad? Any other questions?
How long have you been doing this business?
On this scale,
Or just when it all started?
2005 is when we started with a main evaporator, like the 5x16, and then 2014, I think it was, 14 or 15 is when we really started jumping, taking leaps and bounds. I mean, it's, how can I say this? Have you guys ever heard of the Verona conference that the VVS puts on down by Turnstone in Verona, New York?
Yes, we should.
It's a great weekend, especially if you stay at Turnstone for 2 days. But
They're too young to gamble right there.
it's they'll have, I think this year they had like 1,100 people come in for the school. It's one of the largest ones in the Northeast. They have people from Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, New York come to this conference. Have you guys talked about the Federie over in Canada? The Federation?
I think
The investigative groups.
Okay, well the Federation is very big. They've actually come to the school. And I think it was 6 years ago, 6 or 7 years ago, I went there. I know maybe 2 people out of like the 1,600 that are there with everything. Vendors, I mean the place is packed. I went from that to actually teaching my own classes when I go down there. This year we did a class on maple donuts and how to do granulated sugar. And you'd be surprised at how many people don't know how to do the granulated sugar. But it's a shelf staple product that you can keep year round. Take it camping, add a little bit of water to it, you got syrup. Even though you don't want pancakes and ribs.
I don't know if you know this, but like big companies like Walmart have their Great Value, like maple brand, that is real maple syrup. Do you know if they get their maple syrup from outside producers, or do they have their own trees that they have?
I'm willing to bet they have outside producers. They probably are hooked up with like Butternut over in Vermont, or Bruce Boscombe in New Hampshire, Anderson's, Johnson's. It's, you have these, they're almost like big co-ops. They buy tractor trailer loads. I mean, they buy probably like $5-6 million worth of syrup in the next, between now and the end of May, well no, probably June now, the way some people are talking. But, and then what they do is they bottle it, they label it under Great Value, and they resell it.
How do you make maple granola bars?
See, that's my downfall. I hate granola bars. So
I don't like the maple ones, but I eat the maple ones.
I'm not good.
I don't think those would be good sellers.
No, but they won't. You cannot taste the maple.
Oh, I remember he said that though, about when you start putting maple syrup into different confections, whether you actually taste the maple or not, or if it's just sweet.
They'll use that as the sweetener in there so it doesn't taste like chewing on cardboard. That's my problem.
That's what it tastes like. I
I
only like the honey ones, and that's it.
We did a maple chino at the fair.
What's that?
It's a gallon of ice cream, soft serve ice cream. It's a full 12-pot cup of coffee, and it's it's a cup, or no, a quart of syrup, and you put it in a slushy machine, and it comes out as like a frappuccino at McDonald's. We did that for 2 years, and we did a maple lemonade
I have to try that
slushy,
now.
but it didn't sell. People who tried it loved it and come back and buy it quite a bit, but it didn't sell enough to pay for the machine per se. You gotta look at the bottom, like your bottom number. I loved it. I would drink